Hey, it's Corbin, and we're back with another Disney ranking video. So now we're going to be ranking the Bronze Age. This was a dark time, as it started shortly after Walt Disney's death. So, I will be giving each movie a rating from 1 to 10 out of 10. Now let's explain the rating system using the same clips I used in the previous video. So I'll be giving each of the movies a number from 1 to 10 out of 10. So a 1 is a really boring movie. It hurts to watch. 2, somewhat better than a 1. Like maybe a few things are keeping it from being a 1. 3, better. Doesn't hurt as badly. A 4 is not that good, but slightly below average. A 5 is just average. 6 is good, didn't waste your time. 7 is better, like you would recommend it to someone. 8 is really good, like a lot better. 9 is awesome and is a must-see for one reason or another. 10 is almost perfect. No movie is perfect, but really good. So let's get on with it. Just so you know, some of you may be shocked at what I ranked at number 1. The Fox and the Hound's okay. The story's interesting. So, basically you have a fox being raised by an old lady, and he befriends a hound, and who's being trained to be a hunter, and it's an interesting story. Not that entertaining, though. I rate this film a 6 out of 10. Oliver and Company's okay. Telling an interesting story about a cat wandering New York City. So, I remember the last time I watched, before I watched it for this video, I didn't really remember Oliver having any lines. So, this movie is actually interesting and seems to have a bit more conflict than The Fox and the Hound, but like The Fox and the Hound, it gets a 6 out of 10. The Rescuers is up next, and I liked it a little better than I thought I would. So you have Bernard and Miss Bianca trying to rescue a young orphan girl, Penny, being enslaved by Madame Medusa. Interesting in conflict. So, decent story, good characters. I rate this film a 7 out of 10. Next up, we have Robin Hood. So, this film is actually somewhat fascinating since all the characters are like animals that walk on 2 legs. So, I do find it kind of weird, but we all know the story. Robin Hood robs from the rich and gives to the poor. Prince John's a pretty decent villain. Greedily taxing everyone. I rate this film a 7 out of 10. The Aristocats, it's cute. A lot like Lady and the Tramp in some ways, though unlike Lady and the Tramp, it has actually settling conflict and a main antagonist. Edgar's a pretty decent villain, but, like, he has relatable motivations, like, seriously. I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there would actually try to do what he did if they found out that someone was leaving all their money to their cats, which, for one, is it legal to do that? And for two, it's not like the cats can spend the money themselves. Okay, so I rate this film an 8 out of 10. The Great Mouse Detective is interesting in a lot of ways. We have a Sherlock Holmes-style detective trying to find a kidnapped toy maker who is tasked to make a robot. Well, not technically a robot since it takes place in 1897, and the word robot, fun fact, first appeared in a play written in 1929, but, a mechanical being to replace the Mouse Queen of Mousedom, England, and take over. I find it kind of interesting how it's like a world within a world, like the world of mice taking place within the world of humans unseen. So I find it interesting. I rate this film an 8 out of 10. Ah, Winnie the Pooh. Willy-nilly silly old bear. This movie's just genuinely adorable. Like, the characters are really cute. And, like, actually telling 3 pretty decent stories. Like, all the characters are so iconic. I rate this film an 8 out of 10. And as I said at the beginning, a lot of people are going to be shocked at what I put at number 1. Yep, The Black Cauldron is number 1. A lot of people hate the movie, but, like, I've heard that some people think it's criminally underrated, and I would have to agree. So, it's the first movie in the canon without any songs, but to make up for that, it has a ton of action going on, and what I like about the movie is that the female lead isn't totally dependent on the male lead. If anything, it's the reverse, where Taran loses confidence in himself, and Eilonwy has to pick him back up. All the characters in the movie are good. Like, the Horned King, he's a pretty good villain. Like, Wicked Binge ranked him as the second most evil Disney villain behind the literal devil on their evil to most evil on Disney villains. And now that I've seen The Black Cauldron, I can see why. It's the first movie in the canon that deserves a genuinely deserved 10 out of 10. So that's it for the Bronze Age. Next up is the Renaissance.